Deep breath in. Exhale. Take a deep breath in. And exhale. And just be for a moment. I want you to get clear on how you're feeling today. Without being performative, without feeling like you have to wear a mask, how do you feel today? I'm feeling okay today. Really getting clear on how you feel and where you're at so that we no longer project our emotions onto other people. Continuing to learn how to regulate our emotions, continuing to learn how to become more empowered to speak our truth and how we feel. Recognizing at the end of the day, the biggest obstacle is us. And we sometimes confuse that with how people treat us and how people react towards us, but it's really what we're tolerating. It's really the way that we're perceiving it. It's really us taking things personal. It's really us not being aware that a lot of people, most people are projecting their own experiences and feelings and emotions that they have not yet dealt with. And if you are not clear and you do not know yourself and you have not yet mastered discernment, then you will take on a lot of people's stuff. And then if you have people around you that also are not sure around who they are, it's easy for you to project onto someone else as well. So projection is something that takes a lot of awareness to understand and recognize that we're doing it and that it's being done to us. So really starting the day with getting clear on your feelings and how you're doing will help alleviate you projecting onto others because you're already owning it. You're already owning it. You already are waking up saying, you know what? I feel anxious and a little angry today. So I know this about myself, so I'm not going to be passive aggressive and I'm not going to snap at people and give people an attitude. If anything, I want to work on being more honest and not feeling like I have to pretend and be like this or anything. I want to normalize the fact that it's okay for me to feel a little angry today and not feel like I have to put on and jump through hoops. I don't have to be rude and project the anger onto other people, but I also can stay in my own frame and not feel like I have to be someone else that I'm not. And that's what causes the anxiety in my opinion. The anxiety around having to feel like you have to be anything but what you're feeling. How much it puts the body in a dysregulated state when you're trying to force the body to feel happy when it really feels sad, or you're trying to force the body to feel secure when really you feel very insecure or unsafe. The lies that we tell ourselves is the main contributor to the anxiety that we feel within, because you know that you're lying to yourself. You know that you're not being real with yourself. You know that there's something that you're scared of. So maybe you fear that your truth will cause abandonment. Maybe that is a real deep-rooted belief that you have because that was what you experienced growing up. That when you were honest with your parents, you were honest with, your teachers or adults, that you were met with abandonment. Because you were mad at mom or mad at dad, they decided they weren't picking you up this week, or I'm not going to spend this time with you because you've shown that you were displeased or disappointed. And instead of being able to sit in that and own that and hear you out, I'd rather just push you away. That way you'll learn. Next time that you want to say something to dad that may make dad uncomfortable or feel shame, don't. Because you want dad's love more than you want dad's respect. And that translates into relationships as an adult. You want to be chosen more than you want to be respected by people. You want to fit in and you want to feel close to people more than you want people to really respect you for you. And that was something that you really lived by in the past, which is why you stayed in relationships where you were jumping through hoops trying to get someone to see you and choose these parts of you, because you have a deeper belief that they're not worthy of being chosen. So really getting honest with yourself on where you're at right now, how you truly feel. How are the decisions that you're making impacting you? Why don't you write that down in your journal if you have your journal? How are the decisions that you're currently making right now, how are they impacting you? Are they making you feel good, inspired, excited, proud? Or are they making you feel frustrated, stuck, stagnant, annoyed? Hello. Hi, Carrie. So yeah. The biggest critic and the biggest judge that you're scared of is yourself. I'm telling you, once I understood this and I started to validate myself and validate my own experiences and decided, you know what, I want to love myself today instead of tear myself down every single day. I want to give myself grace instead of self-deprecating. That's when things changed. I recognized that if I could be easier on myself, if I could forgive myself, if I could accept myself, then I really didn't care as much about those who couldn't. I recognized that I was always the one who my inner child was seeking validation from. At first it was mom and dad. I wanted mom and dad, especially dad's validation, and he would never give it to me. But then one day I woke up and I said, you know what? I don't care. I do not care anymore. I'm so tired of wanting my dad to tell me that I'm enough and wanting my dad to tell me that I'm right and say sorry when I'm the one who experienced these experiences. I'm the one who lived in the abuse. I'm the one who lived with the experiences. So why do I need my dad to tell me if I'm right or wrong? Why do I need my dad to say, hey, you know what, Kristen, the times that I didn't show up and abandon you and these things, that was wrong. We know it's wrong. It's just the elephant in the room is that my dad was not able to sit with that. He was not able to sit with it. And so because he was not able to sit with it, I thought in my head that I could never move past it. But then I realized, gosh, that's giving my dad so much power. That's giving everyone so much power to think that I have to hear the words, I'm sorry, in order to move forward, or in order to feel validated that, yes, the thing that you did hurt me. And the fact that you said, I'm sorry, that just took away all the pain. It doesn't. A lot of you want your parents to be able to sit down and say, gosh, you know what? I understand. Yeah, the way that I did this makes sense. I'm so sorry that every time that you try to talk to me, I get super angry and deflective. I'm so sorry that every time you try to talk to me, I get super emotional, overly emotional, and I make you feel guilty for having feelings. I'm so sorry. Of course. That would be great to finally sit down and feel truly heard and seen by your parents. That's something that you've been wanting your whole life. For your parents to really understand you, for them to understand themselves, and for you guys to have a relationship that is healthy, where both parties are feeling respected and loved and all the things. That's all you've wanted for so long. And because your parents did not have the capacity, they weren't capable, they didn't want to, it doesn't matter the reason, but because you were never able to get that from your parents, you started to seek it in other people. You were not able to make peace with who your parents were. You were not able to radically accept who your parents are until now, until you realize that they're not changing unless they want to, and that your tears, your anger, the talks, all the things is not going to change them. Radical acceptance is the change that is needed within you. Because just like you want your parents to change and you're upset that they're not changing, you're also not changing. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I love that you said that. Forgiving them still doesn't stop the triggering. And I really love that you say that. And it they definitely, I think that if you're able to forgive them and accept them for who they are and set strong boundaries, and not take it as personal, there's a whole bunch of things. Of course, we're still going to get triggered by things, but once you stop giving so much weight, like for example, when I forgave my dad, he was alive for about 14 more months. When I finally got to the place of like, wow, I need to forgive him. I don't want to be angry at him. I see how much he's really struggling. I see how much he is stunted emotionally and all the different things. And then like the anger, instead of it feeling like it was something I was disappointed in myself, I'm letting him down, he's angry at me, oh no, I really stopped and started to get present. Okay, he's yelling at me right now. Did I do anything? Am I wrong? No. I could answer those questions. No, this is irrational, but he's always been irrational. This is who he is. And so instead of it letting it penetrate me and ruminate, oh my gosh, my dad's angry. He's angry, not at me, but he's angry, and I'm not going to stop him or try to make him feel like he can't have his own emotions, but I'm also not going to be the punching bag anymore. And so, after I forgave my dad and he would be angry and yell and do all the tactics that used to get me, I would just be like, okay, Dad, I understand. I get it. You're angry and you want me to get out. Okay, I will leave. Let me know if you need anything. It was just like I was dealing with a toddler or something. I don't know. Just everything shifted in me. And I was like, I don't have to get upset about this anymore. I don't have to take this personal anymore. I don't have to take it on me and carry this burden like I'm doing something when I know I haven't. I can be rational. I can be present. The triggers don't work anymore in certain ways because I'm owning it. This has nothing to do with me. I can go down a checklist. Did I do something to piss Dad off today? Did I do what he's claiming? Do I know that he projects? Do I know that this is what he's always done with uncomfortable emotions? So why is this day any different? And so then when I knew that, when I really sat with that, the feelings and all the stuff just started to dissipate. It was like, you don't have power over me anymore because I don't see you in the same light. I used to put you on this pedestal and just think that everything you said was truth. And so that's why when you called me selfish and you said these really nasty things, I took it to heart because I really believed you, because I didn't think that my dad would be malicious or try to hurt me or say things that wasn't true just to hurt me. And so I really believed the things that my father said until I got old enough to like see him truly without the rose-colored glasses on. And I said, I don't know how much I can trust your opinion when you can never be honest with your own shit. You have so much to say about what I'm doing wrong, what mom's doing wrong, what everyone's doing wrong. But as soon as someone tries to have a conversation about what you're doing, which is very obvious, there's a lot of things, you blow up and you can't handle it and you turn off the phone and you hang up and you do all these things. So I don't know if I can really trust what you're saying. And that's when it really clicked. No, you're just projecting, and maybe there are some truths to some of the things, but I can't really have a real conversation with you because I'm not going to sit here and have one-sided conversations anymore. You see, you get to a point where you say, I don't have to entertain this anymore. I don't have to feed into your delusion anymore. I don't have to be the appeaser and kiss your ass anymore. I don't have to do any of this. I can just be real with you. And yeah, it's going to hurt. And yeah, if I have to go no contact or I have to limit my time with you, that shit hurts. I don't want to do that. I want to be able to go see my mom and dad as many days as I want to and spend the night and not have to have a limit. But that is what it is. That's what I'm talking about. It's the radical acceptance. Yes, you expect your dad to be able to show up for you and do all the things. Yes, you expect your mom to be emotionally available. These are expectations that keep you in shackles. They do. Of course, we all expect our parents and expected our parents to be exactly what we needed them to be. Of course. But the reality is they weren't. And how long are we going to punish ourselves and punish them for something that they can't even change, even if they did wake up today? Even if they did wake up today and do all the things, they still wouldn't be able to change the last 20, 25, 30 years. You still would have to sit with the resentment. You still are going to have to sit with the disappointment. You're still going to have to sit with it. You're still going to have to sit with it and process it and be mad. Just because someone says, I'm sorry, doesn't take away the 30 years that you felt like you were not enough because you didn't have people in your life that were paying attention to you. I don't care if it was because they were working so much. I don't care because they had 6 jobs to put food on the table. At 5 years old, you did not have the ability to rationalize why your parents weren't around, why they weren't showing up. And so you can't expect that part of you that has been stunted at 5 years old to be able to just let it go. You have to feel it. You got to scream. You got to cry. You got to have the real emotions that were adequate, that made sense for that point in time, that was stunted. Everything that you stunted, you need to release. Everything that you have not allowed yourself to feel is coming up now. That's why your emotions seem unproportional to things that are going on. That's why sometimes it can be such a little trigger that a friend does, and it ends up being this whole thing because it's so much deeper, because you finally have opened up the floodgates to release this baggage that has been holding you back and holding you down for so many years. And you can feel it now. You can see it because you're aware of it. You've been carrying this shit for years and you're exhausted. And not only have you been carrying your own baggage, you've been picking up baggage from all these other toxic relationships that you have not wanted to look at. You've been picking up the baggage and carrying that shit too. Taking it in because you love being the savior. You love being the person that heals it. You want the story, the ride or die. I found the person and they were so broken and they were so hurt, and and then I nursed them back to health. See, I am worthy of being in someone's life. I am worthy of being chosen. You see? Look what I've done. Look how they were when they met me, and look how they were after. Look how they are. And that's true for a lot of us. That's true. You do come into people's lives, and not that you're perfect and not that you don't cause trauma yourself, because you have, but your intentions and the way that you see people and the way that you see the potential is beautiful. And I can willing to bet that 9 times out of 10, you can look back at these relationships and say, damn, this person was here when they met. You can say it. I really did make an impact, whether it was toxic and it didn't end in the way. I know that I touched this person in a positive way. You can say that because that is your intent. The trauma and the way that your shadows and the way that you have not become comfortable in your darkness, that's what makes you feel like you're a fraud. That's what makes you feel like you're an imposter. That's what makes you feel like you're really not a good person. Even though your intentions were really pure, the way that you go about it before you were awake can seem manipulative, can seem malicious. It can. Thank you for being here unapologetically. It does. And now that you sit with it, you can see through enlightened eyes, oh my gosh, I know that I was trying to, my intent was really to make this person better, but really when I look at it, the way it came off is what I really wasn't accepting this person for where they're at. And that's what a lot of us need to see. You think that it's altruistic. You do. You think it's altruistic when you go into someone's life who wasn't asking to be changed, and because you don't feel safe from the energy that they're putting out, and you don't have the awareness or the comfortability to say, hey, you know what? I don't know. I just feel uneasy around this person, and I don't really know why, but I just feel uneasy, because you ignore that, because that doesn't fit the limerence and the attachment to outcome that you attach to when you first meet somebody. You know how it's just 0 to 100. All of a sudden you want to do everything, do all this stuff. That is your trauma response. That is you trying to bridge the gap before they get to know who you really are. Because who you really are is not someone who always buys gifts. Who you really are is not someone who's always jumping through hoops. Who you really are is not someone who's always perfect and got it together and doing all this. No, you can be completely unstable sometimes. You can be really erratic sometimes. You can be neurotic. Your thoughts sometimes rule you. Sometimes you get a thought and you run with it, and you have reactions that are so big as if the thought became true right in front of your eyes, when really it's just an assumption, because you're so used to the predictable personality and behaviors of what you're used to in the past, that anyone who comes into your presence before you actually heal, they're subject to the same ideologies that you've been growing up with this whole time. It doesn't matter if they're the best person. It doesn't matter if they really do have good intentions. What you're used to is someone who's deceptive. What you're used to is someone who's inconsistent. What you're used to is someone who has more words than actions. You're used to that. You're used to that, and so you expect it. So even when someone actually has pure intentions, you don't trust it. This is why you self-sabotage. This is why you self-sabotage, even when it is a good thing. And this is why we can continue to try to jump through relationship, thinking that this one relationship will be the thing that heals us. And yes, people can be the thing that heals us. They can help us heal. But if we're not in the space to actually receive the love, receive the healing, be vulnerable enough to talk about your words instead of slamming doors and punching windows, that vulnerability, the vulnerability that instead of yelling and screaming, you say, that really hurt my feelings when you said that, and I really don't like when you yell at me. I know that sometimes I yell back at you, but I actually don't like yelling at all. I feel like I've always had to yell, and so when someone yells, it triggers me. Are you vulnerable enough to say that? Or is it more comfortable for you to dissociate and just scream at the top of your lungs? No, the vulnerability that you're seeking is something that you're also scared of. This is why it's so much easier just to connect and let's just have sex. Because doing that and dissociating and having a little physical moment is far easier than saying, hey, I'm actually really scared to do this right now. But let me take I usually take a couple shots at this moment, but I want to stay sober and I want to be real and I don't want to do anything that I don't really feel. And I realize there's been a lot of experiences that I've needed liquid courage or the weed to actually do. And what do I do when I'm actually sober? What decisions do I make when I'm not trying to escape the reality? Am I really ready to have sex right now? Actually, the answer is no. That's the vulnerability I'm talking about, without feeling like you're going to be dumb or shut down or what are they going to think of me? Who cares what they think of you if you're not ready to do it? What do you think of yourself by doing it when you're not ready? Let's ask that question. Who cares what they think when you're not ready to do something that you're not ready to do? What do you think of yourself when you do something that you're not ready to do? And are you aware that you're doing things that you're not ready to do? Because then the projection that comes afterwards always seems like someone is perpetually trying to make you the victim. When really, you weren't listening to yourself. You were playing a role. You were playing a character. You weren't really being honest with what you wanted, needed, and really wanted to experience in that moment because you've been so conditioned to think that the true needs and the true vulnerability and the true intimacy around being truthful about your feelings, that is something that you're not worthy of, because when you tried to be that way as a child, what were you met with? Physical abuse, verbal abuse, dismissiveness, shutdown, gaslighting, deflectiveness. So you've learned that your true raw vulnerability is not lovable, is not wanted. That's the messaging that you received from the two people that were supposed to make you feel the most love. So if the two people that were supposed to make me feel the most love has actually made me feel the opposite, how am I to trust some stranger off the street? Well, I don't, but I also crave a deep connection. So it's contradicting, it's confusing, because I seek it out on the dating websites, but then as soon as the honeymoon phase is over, everything hits the fan. It's almost like I'm just craving the honeymoon. It's almost like I'm just craving that dopamine of the few months before things get too serious when I can still hide and pretend, because I don't owe you the commitment yet. I don't owe you all these things until I do. And then when I do, things change. Ooh. We have feelings now. Things change. I'm no longer go with the flow, but I'm still going to pretend that I am, because I started this relationship off on a lie. I started this relationship off wanting the person to feel like I just didn't want anything serious because I knew that they didn't. But I also felt like I could convince them. I could convince them after being with me and doing all these things that they'll change their mind. That's what I always want to do. I want to change people's mind. I love attracting people that don't really want what I want, so I can prove to them and prove to myself that they really do want it, and only to be disappointed when they walk away because from what they said in the beginning wasn't true. Or maybe they did say a lot of things in the beginning and it was love bombing, and maybe the actions and the words are not aligning, and how long am I going to wait for them to finally match up? You see, you've been waiting for your dad. You've been waiting for your mom and dad's words and actions to match up for 30 years, that you're willing to wait another 30 for this person, I guess. You're always waiting. You're always waiting. Always waiting. Always waiting for someone to see you. Always waiting for someone to pick you. Always waiting for someone to say, you know what, I love this about you. Always waiting to say, God, you know that little quirk about you that everyone hates? I love it. Instead of you being that person. Always searching. A bottomless pit, because no one is going to be able to make you feel what you have to feel within yourself. No one. If you constantly feel this void that you're not enough, there is not a single person on this planet that is going to make you feel something that you don't already feel within yourself. That's why if I felt like I was still very insecure about being a dark-skinned Black woman, the comments and everything would be crumbling me every day. You know, it did for a long time. But now I love it. I love it regardless if you do. I love my skin regardless if they do. I love my skin regardless if they do. So if someone comes to me and says, I hate your dark, ugly skin, it doesn't penetrate me the same way that it did 10 years ago, because I love it. But maybe 10 years ago I didn't. And so yes, the words hurt me because I did believe that about myself. You see? The judgment sometimes that you're so scared of, which is why you don't post the videos and why you don't want to come out and be real. It's already the judgment that you already have towards yourself. So now it's pretty much a decision. Do you want to continue judging this part of yourself? Is this something that you can change and make better? Or is it something that I'm not going to go get a skin transplant. So how do I learn to love these parts of myself? Or do I want to choose to continue walking around being so fragile that if anyone ever gets close to the insecurity around my skin, I just shatter? No, I didn't want to be like that anymore. No, I don't want to feel like that anymore. I don't want to be so fragile that someone's words can totally just change the course of my day. I want to love myself so fiercely that the people who can't don't even make an impact on me anymore, because it used to. I used to get upset and lose sleep over random strangers not liking me. One of my best friends would meet another friend, and immediately I wouldn't feel the warm and welcome. Why doesn't that friend? I don't know. I feel insecure. Is that friend trying to just so insecure because I didn't feel the love and the appeasement that I gave other people? Well, I go over the top and kiss people's asses. I want them to feel, and I'm projecting that why don't other people treat me how I treat them? Well, maybe I don't need to go over the top all the time. Maybe I can be true in how I feel too. Maybe I don't need to do extra. I can still be kind, but maybe I don't need to kiss people's ass. You see? You're projecting. The way that you treat people, the way that you tolerate shit, you get upset if other people don't, even if it's hurting you. This is why some people get upset when you start setting boundaries. It's because they've never had boundaries, and how dare you all of a sudden set a boundary when they don't. They want you to have the same standards and tolerance that they do. Well, if I don't care that you always call me at 11 o'clock, even though it is kind of late, I always answer. But why are you setting a boundary with me that I can't call you past 10 o'clock? Because if you don't care that I call you at 11, that's on you. But I care. I don't want you to call me past 10 a.m. So I don't understand why I have to have the same standard and same boundary as you. Just because you don't care if people call you all through the night, but you just said that you actually don't like being woken up. So maybe that's a boundary you need to set so that you won't be upset when I'm setting one. You see what I'm saying? We treat people how we treat ourselves. Don't you see? Yeah. So if you're someone who just goes with the flow all the time, and even though people upset you, you don't really check them. You just say, ugh, you know what, whatever, let's just get through it, whatever. And then the moment someone wants to call you out, you get super defensive because how dare someone call you out when you let everybody slide? Babe, that's a you problem. That's a you problem. That's not the person who called you out's problem. The person who called you out respects themselves enough to say, hey, the thing that you said was not okay. I don't appreciate you talking to me like that. But you get upset because you allow people to talk to you like that. You allow people to talk to you crazy. You allow it. And so when you say something out of pocket, you expect people to be avoidant just like you are. But sometimes you're going to meet someone that challenges you. This is the intimacy that I'm talking about. This is the intimacy. You've surrounded yourself with people that are just like you, but then you said that you want to wake up. You said that you want to grow. You said that you want to evolve. So the universe said, bet, I'm going to go ahead and put Kristen in your life. Here's a new friend. And this friend is different than all the other friends that you had, because this friend is here to be a mirror to the things that you need to heal within yourself. And so in order for this friend to be a mirror, they can't be a yes man. In order for this person to be a mirror, they can't just sweep shit under the rug. In order for this person to be a mirror, they have to challenge you. And so, yep, you're so used to talking people any kind of way or whatever. And so then maybe someone says something. It's happened to me, and it did not feel good. And I felt very attacked, and I felt very upset because I was the person who didn't check people. I was the person who just built resentment, and I was passive aggressive. I'd rather be passive aggressive or tell a joke and how I feel than just say, hey, I don't fucking like that you did that. That was me for the longest time. And then when someone would actually call me out, or especially the same person that I gave all these secret passes to, when that person would say, hey, Kristen, I didn't like the way that you said this to me the other day. Everything from all the other times that I let it slide, that it didn't bother me. Oh, well. All of a sudden it comes out, and now I'm the one who looks like I can't handle anything. I'm the one that's harboring all this stuff. Why didn't you tell me? And now I'm using the opportunity that they did to talk to me about something to tell them about all the things that I can't stand. You see how that's fucked up? You see how that's annoying? You can't stand when your parents do that. But you've had a parent that did that. When you come to them about something, then all of a sudden you're the one that's in trouble. You come to them about something that's bothering you, and they're so manipulative, and they have such play on your heartstrings that at the end of the conversation, you're apologizing to them when you're the one who initiated the conversation about something that they hurt you about. You know, I don't like when you do this. Yeah, well, I don't like the other 5 times that you did it too, but did you see me complaining? Hey, Dad, hey, I don't like that you did that. Yeah, well, it pisses me off when you do it too, but you don't see me complaining. That's not healthy. Just because if I'm doing something that's bothering you, let me know. And that's also a learning moment for you. You're like, oh damn, okay, I didn't even recognize that I was doing the same thing, but here I am, getting upset with someone else doing it. It's awareness. It's awareness in it where you can sit and say, oh, okay, but also, why didn't you tell me this? Why is this something that I'm just now hearing because now I'm talking to you about something? It seems like you can't just sit in the feelings on your own. You want to add me into the shame. And that is why we project. That is why we gaslight. That is why we deflect. If I point out something and then it's something that maybe I've done, you don't want to sit in the shame by yourself and own it. You don't. But that's what we do. Well, you do it too. Well, oh, what about the times when you say, you weaponize someone's past or you weaponize something because you can't sit in it by yourself. You can't sit in it by yourself. You need to share this blame with someone. Oh no, you mean to tell me I've let you get away with all this for all this time and now you want to call me out? Oh no, I'm going to bring it all up. But okay, what kind of person is that? So you're just saving everything for this moment instead of having healthy conversations when things come up. You're building resentment against me. You're avoidant. So now I have to wonder, are you really telling me how you feel or are you just sweeping it under the rug? You see, that doesn't inspire confidence in me. That doesn't inspire that feels deceptive to me. So that's why I get so triggered by avoidant attachment styles. That's why I get so triggered by it. Because then now I'm sitting here because I am intuitive and I do pick up on people's emotions and feelings and annoyance, but I don't also want to have to always pull shit out of you all the time. I want you to trust and I want us to have such an open, healthy relationship that when something bothers you, we can talk about it. Because if you let it build up for a year, you might be ready to leave. You might be cheating on me already because you're so unhappy and you're feeling so unseen in this one little thing that could have been an easy conversation, but you're so scared of confrontation and you have such a deep-rooted, limited belief that confrontation always ends in abandonment. So you'd rather abandon the person before they abandon you because you're so scared of the conversation. You see how big things really are in your head than how they really are in real life. In your head, they're so big because of your experiences, not recognizing that you're here to create new experiences. You're not here to live the same life. Something that keeps coming up is Groundhog Day or the Truman Show. It's every day. Every day it's the same thing until you wake up and say, I got to think different. I cannot continue to think in this wounded perspective and expect different results. I cannot expect that my knee-jerk reaction every time I make a mistake is to cuss myself out and be self-deprecating and then simultaneously think that I'm going to have confidence after that. Imagine your inner child as a separate entity. Imagine yourself as a 7-year-old little child outside of yourself. Now, be able to see yourself in the room. You have to close your eyes if you have to. So you see your 7-year-old child, your little child, which is you, and then you see your adult self. So now, when you have those knee-jerk thoughts that seem so effortless, you don't even realize that you're having them. God, I'm so fucking stupid. God, I'm such a dumbass. How could I do that? I want you to envision that you're talking to that 7-year-old. Because imagine if you walked up on the sidewalk and you saw a grown adult going like this to a 6, 7-year-old saying, you're fucking stupid. You're a fucking dumbass. That would elicit something within you, right? That would make you feel something if you walked up and you saw someone tearing down a 5-year-old, 6-year-old, 7-year-old, and you're just like, they don't even know any better. They're not even old enough to know better. Why are you talking to them like that? Don't talk to that child like that. That's you. That same outrage that you would get if you walked up on an adult talking to a 5, 6, 7-year-old, you're fucking stupid. This is why you're never going to be nothing. You're not fucking shit. This is why you're not good enough. This is why you're never going to be shit. And this is why you're never going to find love. This is why you're going to be fucking alone forever because you don't know how to act. If you walked up and saw somebody saying that, you'd be outraged. You talk to that little 7-year-old within you like that, and then you expect them to all of a sudden get creative the next day. Okay? You got to see it separate. You got to separate yourself for a second. Even though there's no separation, I need you to trick your brain into separating it because the voice, the knee-jerk reaction that you have is not yours. It's not yours. You're just listening to it and believing it and not challenging it. Okay? You got to challenge that and say, is this how I really think about myself? And this is, yeah. And this is why I posted about this earlier, my 5-step method, my 5A method that I've been creating the last 3 years on how to integrate these shadows and really break these cycles, is awareness, right? You can't heal what you're not aware of. So if you're just walking around thinking that you're the elephant in the room and no one tells you, or you can't see it and you don't have your awakening, how can you heal it? If you don't know, damn, I know you think you're funny, but actually people can't stand being around you when you act like this. Some people really don't know. Some people really think, oh, everybody loves this part of my personality. And then all of a sudden you're like, can I be honest? Actually, it's really pretentious, it's obnoxious, and like it's hard to be around because you can tell that you're not being real in the things that you say. You can tell that everything you say is a projection of your insecurities. Okay, boom, we got the awareness now. Oh shit. Damn, I didn't think people could realize that I wasn't really this confident and that a lot of this shit was this. Okay, so now we're aware. People can see it. So now I'm aware. Then let me acknowledge. I got to acknowledge, damn, I did get some kind of like, there was some kind of behaviors that came from this. Now that I'm aware that I'm impacting these people, I'm aware, I got to acknowledge there were some behaviors that I've picked up that I don't really, okay. Then once we acknowledge it, we have to accept where we're at, radically accept. Ooh, okay. Someone just made me aware that I have this tendency to like, just exaggerate and do certain things that it's just say stuff that's just so outlandish just to get attention. I'm being aware of that. I don't really like how that makes me feel now that I'm aware of it. I've acknowledged that these behaviors came. So let me connect the dots. Why do I do this? Okay. It's because I thought this and I thought that because of childhood. I felt like I had to play this role because like my family used to bully me. My dad used to tell me that I wasn't shit. And so I really believed it. So I've overcompensated because of the things that my dad told me. Okay. So now we connect the dots. So we are aware that we do this thing. We've acknowledged some behaviors that come from it. And now I radically accept. I accept that I want to change these things, but I know that I've been in this pattern for 20, 30 years. And so it's not going to be just one day to the next. I know that my brain is going to go back to predictable behaviors and programming. So I'm going to have to be super aware and super tedious and on top of making sure that when I go into that knee-jerk reaction to self-deprecate, I say, ooh, nope. That's not what I'm doing anymore. I radically accept that this is how my brain works right now because I've been living in this limited belief for so long, but I am choosing to consciously break this pattern by staying present. I am aware that when I start dissociating, when I start having these train of thoughts, that is dissociation. That's not me being present anymore. When someone triggers me and threatens to break up with me and I start feeling this abandonment wound coming up and I say, oh my God, you can't do this. No, everything's gonna do this. See, everybody leaves me. I can't do it. You're not present anymore. You're dissociating. You're dissociating. And so I have to radically accept that even though I've been made aware of this pattern, I'm not going to be perfect. I'm not. So I radically accept where I'm at right now in this moment. I'm aware that I have something that I need to work on. I've acknowledged that I have some behaviors that I'm not really proud of, that I didn't even know that I was doing. And I'm radically accepting that I know that I want to change some of these things, but I also know that it takes time for me to just be a completely different person, and it's going to take repetition and time. Then the next step is accountability. That this is where we start getting into the tough work of the method. It is accountability. Now that I am aware of this pattern or behavior or belief, and I've acknowledged the behaviors that have come from this, I have accepted where I'm at right now, knowing that I'm still making changes, but I'm giving myself grace. Now I have to hold myself accountable when I start to recant some of the experiences and how I've treated people, how I've manipulated people, how I have been deceptive, and I have to hold that myself accountable in that way too. Okay, this is a part of integrating it, owning it, because when you don't hold yourself accountable, then that puts you in the perpetual victim mode. And when you're the perpetual victim, it's everyone else's fault. So how can you really work on anything if it's everyone else's fault? So then you're at the mercy of hoping that every single person that you come in contact with is going to treat you the way that you want to be treated because you're the victim. It's not you that's choosing people. It's not you that's tolerating it. It's not you that doesn't feel like you're worthy. It's not you that doesn't feel deserving. Therefore, you settle. And therefore, you don't have standards. It's not you that wasn't taught that boundaries are okay. So therefore, you have zero boundaries, which also impacts your experience on this earth with people. You know this. Not having boundaries deeply impacts your experience on this earth with people. You know this now. Look back at all the times that you did not have boundaries. Look back at it. Look back at it. You can see. And so you're not the perpetual victim. You were just unaware and traumatized and did not know that you had the ability to set these boundaries. And you also were just not okay with the fact that you setting boundaries may cause some people to walk away from you. And because you have such a deep abandonment wound and you want to be chosen more than you want to be respected, you did not want to set those boundaries because you didn't want to not be chosen. You associated, if I have any problem or if I can't deal with this, then this person may not want me. And I have a deep rooted belief that no one really wants me on this earth. And I have a deep rooted belief that I'm going to be alone forever. And that's actually something that scares me so bad, is that I'm going to just be walking this life forever by myself, and I'm never going to feel the love that I desire, and I'm never going to feel that closeness and that team that I really desire, or have the family. I'm never going to have it. And so now when someone comes into my life, even if it's not ideal, even if it's not safe, even if it's not healthy, I'm just going to try to make this shit work, because I have such a low self-esteem and I have such a low self-concept that I couldn't even imagine someone who actually embodied everything that I truly desire actually wanting me back. Isn't that how it always works? The people that you don't really want you so bad, and then the people that you want don't want you. You're living in these beliefs that you never get what you want. So then you settle for what you don't want, but then try to convince yourself that it is what you want. But you can't lie to yourself forever. You can't lie to yourself forever. So we will be diving deeper into this on Sunday. I am hosting my monthly workshop that I do every single month, and it's going to be this Sunday, the 8th. It's at 10 a.m. Eastern. It's virtual, so you can join from home with your notebook and your tea and your coffee, whatever you need, your pen and your paper. And normally my workshops are geared towards identifying what the shadows are, but I'm listening to what you guys are wanting, and a lot of you guys have been screaming that you want to learn how to actually break it, that you're aware that you have this pattern, you have accepted it, you see it, but you now need help on how to actually break the pattern. And so I'm listening. And so this workshop on Sunday is called Breaking the Cycle. And after we spend a brief 30 minutes going over the shadows so that you have an idea, because I know some of you are not even aware of what your actual shadows are. I've made a list of the top 10 most common, and we're going to go through those so you can mark out which ones you are. And then we're going to go through those 5 steps in depth. And I want you guys to ask questions, and I want you to be real, and I want you to start getting honest and being honest out loud in front of other people. This is the only way that we're going to be able to break through, is to actually do the things that scare us. We can't sit and intellectualize that we're so scared of this and we're so scared of that and we're so scared. You got to do it and feel it and see how it feels. It's not going to feel good in the beginning all the time, because you're so used to abandoning yourself that when you start to honor yourself, it feels like you're rejecting the other person. You're so used to abandoning yourself that when you start to honor yourself, you can feel like you are hurting the other person. But really, it's just because you're so used to hurting yourself that you'd rather just take on the pain yourself than hurt another person, because you are a deep empathic soul, and you know how much it hurts to be rejected and feel abandoned, and you would never want someone else to feel like that on your watch. You wouldn't. You don't want other people to feel how you've been made to feel, so you go out of your way to go above and beyond to make people not feel that, but it's at your detriment. It hurts you when you do this, because then you end up in situations that you really truly don't want to be in, or you're not really aligned in, but you're so worried about hurting other people, and you've made it your mission to never hurt, or to make sure that no one ever hurts the way that you hurt. And it's like, it's not your job to save everybody. It's not your job to like every single person that comes in contact. You don't have to, just because someone shows interest in you doesn't mean you have to be interested in them. You're not hurting them just because you're honest with them from the beginning. Like, all these ideologies are hurting you. Okay? And the more that you heal and the more that you realize you are going to be very magnetic, the more that you heal. People are craving authenticity. People are craving someone who is so comfortable with themselves, even if they're not conventionally this or whatever. That is so attractive and sexy. It really is. So then when you So then the more that you heal, the more that you get comfortable in yourself, the more that you don't see your insecurities as flaws, the more that you don't see these little things, and you start to accept your nose, and you start to accept your skin, and you start to accept the little quirks about you that you can't change, and you start to really see yourself in a different light. Others will too, okay? How you see yourself is oftentimes how a lot of people feel. And so this is why, in the past, when you felt so insecure about yourself and you didn't feel pretty and you didn't feel handsome and you didn't feel like you were enough, and you walked around, and people could feel that energy. People could feel that energy from you. And so maybe that's why you didn't have a lot of people running up and giving you attention, because you were not as open as you thought you were, because the ideologies and the beliefs about yourself put you in a low vibrational frequency. You didn't even know how much you were in a low vibrational frequency, because you've been so conditioned to play this character that you even believed it. Okay? You even believed it. So let's do some readings today. I'm going to be on for maybe another hour here. So let's do some mini readings today. I'll start off with pulling a few cards, but if anybody wants to get 7 minutes of a reading, I do it by time now, because I felt like I pull so many cards anyway, and I feel like I can do a lot in 7 minutes because I talk so fast and I channel so quickly. So if you want something that's more specific to you, you know what to do. Just go ahead and send the 20 to my Cash App, and I will put the timer on the clock and we will pull some cards for you. But let's see if I'm really connecting with you guys. You've been a little bit quiet today. So let's see if I'm really connecting with your guys' energy. Let's see what's up. You're welcome, Shannon. Yeah, quiet, because you said I was just on a roll going. Okay, there's one card that pulls out. What else does the collective need to know? Who am I speaking to specifically? I don't know why the name Nikki, and then I always feel like Maria comes up for me all the time. So if that's someone that you know, if that's someone that's close to you, Maria and Nikki, maybe that's your name. Let's see what's going on. Okay, so suffering. We are all coming to terms in the collective how we are contributing to our suffering. It's very obvious now. You're waking up and you're realizing that not setting boundaries, not speaking your truth, all these things that you thought would make you more tolerable and accepted in society are actually the very things that have hurt you the most, and you're fucking tired of it. Okay? You're so tired of the way that you contribute to your suffering by trying to walk on eggshells to make sure everybody's okay. You're exhausted, and I'm hearing someone just screaming at the top of their lungs, I'm fucking tired. And even with your family, it's like you love your mother. I'm talking to a male. I feel like I'm talking to a masculine energy that I love my mom, but man, I'm starting to realize how much she has manipulated me. I'm starting to realize how much she's manipulated my emotions and my soft spot for her. And if I'm really getting honest, there's some things that have been super problematic with my mom that has made me into this person that I am, that I'm trying to work on. And so mother wounds. We need to recognize how codependent that we become on our mothers sometimes, and how codependent our mothers are on us. So Making sure that we are separating and having our own autonomy and sovereignty. We can become really enmeshed with our parents at a young age when our parents don't have proper boundaries, when our parents bring us into grown folks' business, when our parents place these burdens on us at a very young age. We start to become enmeshed. And so put a heart in the chat if you were a child who was really worried about finances because you grew up in a house, maybe poverty, where it was always stressed and talked about and money was always an issue. So you grew up feeling like you had to maybe hold back or not ask for certain things, or you felt responsible, or you wouldn't dare ask to go on this trip because you felt such a burden around the finances at such a young age. That's enmeshment. That's enmeshment. It's something that like you don't really have the capacity to handle or change or do, so you start to internalize it and think that the little things that you should be totally allowed to ask for, totally allowed to want as a child, you're internalizing it, and you're already building a complex that I'm not worthy, I'm not deserving, it's too much. And so now raise your hand if you're an adult who has a really hard time spending anything on yourself. If you're an adult that doesn't really get yourself, do nice things for yourself, or you are okay with getting gifts for other people, but when it comes time to doing things for yourself, put a heart. If it feels really bad, you have a really bad feeling after you do something, say you splurge and you buy yourself something that may be a little more expensive than you normally spend. It's like, instead of being excited, yes, I deserve this, I get it, you leave the store immediately with like a thought in your head, I shouldn't have did this shit, like I shouldn't have bought this. Or maybe you drive home and you're like, damn, maybe I can return it, I shouldn't. And it's something that you know, yeah, I overspend and feel bad too. Yeah, and I was gonna get to that. So maybe you're really frugal, or then maybe sometimes that money burns a hole in your pocket because subconsciously you don't feel deserving of having money. You don't feel deserving of being financially stable. You're not used to it. You're used to operating in survival mode when it comes to money. And you actually say that you're your best when you're under pressure. You put a heart in the chat if you say you're your best and you can produce a lot of results under pressure. Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. If you put a heart in the chat, if you think that you work better under pressure. Trauma. Are we connecting the dots? So you want to always be in that pot boiling. That's how you want to be, because it's comfortable to your nervous system. It's not comfortable for you to trust that the money's going to show up even if you don't have you don't know how yet. It's not comfortable for you to say, you know what? I am doing everything that I can to bring this money in. I'm not sure how I'm going to pay that, but I'm going to trust. Me worrying and freaking out about it, I'm tired. And some of you have hit a wall where you are not panicking about things the way you used to, and it kind of scares you. You're not. You've been so burnt out of being in survival mode, constantly worrying about money, that you're getting to the point now where your finances may be kind of crazier than ever, and like unstable than ever. And you're not even like freaking out about it anymore. You're so tired and burnt out, and you're just like, listen, it's gonna work out, or it's gonna work out, or it's not. I don't even know. Shit. Like, I can't. And because you're also becoming so aware of the system that is set up for you to fail. So it's like, I'm not going to sit here and spend all this energy worrying and trying to act like I'm not doing enough when I know that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing for this lie that I've been promised, that if I just work this and get this degree and get this, I'm going to be able to have it. A lot of us, especially if you're a millennial, you're waking up to that was bullshit. And now you're just like, I'm not going to sit here and stress about these student loans. I'm going to defer the shit because you guys sold me a lot. I'm not going to sit here and take full responsibility for this fucking systematic shit. I'm done stressing about it every other day. I can only get so many fucking jobs. There's only so many hours. And you know what? I'm burnt out to the point where I don't even give a fuck no more. And that's a really ideal place to be if you find yourself there, because we still need to be in the frequency of, listen, everything's working out. When I can't see it, this is when the trust, this is when the faith really has to kick in. If you believe in God, source, the universe, yeah, I don't see the way out of this right now. I don't know. All I can do is have faith and trust, and also get honest. Am I doing my part to meet halfway? Am I doing my part? And that's the big caveat. Am I doing my part to meet halfway? It's one thing if we're just sitting here and we're procrastinating because we're in freeze, which I have a lot of empathy for that. It's very hard to be in the freeze response. It is very hard to be sitting on the porch having a whole laundry list of things that you know you need to do, screaming at the top of your lungs inside, but then on the outside you're just taking phone calls and chatting with friends like it's nothing. You're just wasting time and just sitting here scrolling, even though inside you're like, get up, come on, like do the work, get the fuck up every single day. There's nothing. Why can't you do it? It's never going to be perfect. There's always something happening. There's always something with your mom. There's always something with money. Fucking do it. Get off the phone. That's what's screaming inside. But then you still just sit here because you're just like, it's daunting. It's daunting. I just want to escape one more time, one more joint, one more drink, one more phone call, one more scroll, one more dopamine hit before it's my turn. Let me just, hold on. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe, yeah, tomorrow's the first. It's the first of the month. Fuck it. Okay, I'm so done. Whew. Okay, that means these next 2 days I can just relax because I'm going to do it on the first and I can just have some moments of peace, still continuing to abandon and betray myself, still continuing to run and distract myself, still making excuses on why I can't today, and tomorrow never fucking comes. Tomorrow never fucking comes. You're tired of it. You're frustrated within yourself. You are frustrated. It's making you feel heavy. It's making you feel anxious. Some of you are having panic attacks out of nowhere. Some of you are crying and feeling angry out of nowhere. And it's because you know that you are worth more. You know that you're meant to do it. You're getting the call so deeply, but you are so scared to answer the fucking phone that you are pissed off at how scared you are. Some of you think that you need something extreme. You do. You're like, I need something extreme to shake me out of this shit. Like, I need something. I need some type of exposure therapy that's going to throw me. I need to be like thrown to the wolves. Like that's some of you because you are having such a hard time getting going. And some of you don't have people in your life that hold you accountable. Some of you don't have people in your life that show up every day and say, hey, what the fuck? You said you were going to write your book and I don't see it. You've been talking about this book forever. Where is it? Some of us need that. Damn. Okay. Someone really is paying attention. Yeah. I had to do that with one of my best friends the other day because she's having a hard time and you know that she has all the best ideas, but where she's at, it's hard for her to stay consistent. It's hard. She gets so excited about it. And then 2 days later, we don't hear anything. And so she said something the other day and she was like, oh, I'm really excited about this. And I said, prove it. And she was like, what? And I was like, no, she needs this. I'm tired of all the, you hear this, you say this, and I get excited and we porn, and then you never show up for yourself. So I'm not going to make you okay with that. I'm not going to keep saying, oh, it's okay, babe, figure it out. No. Stick to something. You say it, do it. Even if you don't like it all the way through, fucking stick to something. Your words don't mean nothing. And she was just like, I said, show me the proof of when you finalize what you say it. And she was just like, and then literally the next day she sent me a screenshot. Okay, I signed up. Thank you. Thank you. I'm so glad. I want your words to mean something to me too. I'm also wanting to be inspired by you too. And I don't want to just be at the top doing my thing. And I know that when I make it big, all my friends are going to be taken care of. But it's not just about, okay, I'll make the millions and then I'll just give you the money. And then no, it's bigger than the money. This is about you, your integrity, your grit, your perseverance, your heart, your mission, your purpose. It's so much bigger than the fucking money. That's why people have money and they're so bored and they want struggle. I always bring it up. The Nepo babies want to struggle so fucking bad. And their struggle is the fact that they don't have no struggle. They don't have any substance, that they've been given everything. That is the fucking struggle. People want to be oppressed so bad because they can see that from oppression comes strength. Because I'm not going to give in to the oppression. I'm going to fight it, work harder, work more, do this. I am ambitious because of it. The very thing that you created to hold people back is the very thing that propels them forward in life. You fucked up. Because the people who have been given everything and have been told that they're perfect and everything just because of how they look or how much money, they're the ones that are struggling. Here, what do I stand for? What do I believe in? What is it? What is it? Maybe some of these struggles that we've had to go through have built this beautiful character. Maybe some of the struggles that you've gone through have made you the empathetic, beautiful, understanding, relatable person that you are. This is why someone can come to you and tell you something that is so deeply private and you don't even bat an eye because you've been there and you're not in the business of trying to tear people down anymore. You want to be relatable. You want people to feel safe and comfortable around you. And so therefore, people do feel like they can come and share their deepest secrets with you because you're a dope ass soul. You're not someone that tears people down and judges people. You're someone that welcomes people with open arms. But the person that you do judge the most is yourself. I wish that you gave yourself the same love and grace that you give strangers on the street. I wish that you gave yourself the same love and respect and patience that you give some of your friends. Because why is it okay for them to do shit and not okay for you? You put yourself on these astronomical standards that no one can ever fucking reach. Everyone else is on a pedestal but you, which means everyone is above you. Why? Why are they more worthy to lay down and be sad, but you're not? Why does it make sense for them to get tired and not want to work and have someone, but it's not for you? You got to suck it up. You got to keep going. You got to be adaptive. You got to be well adjusted. And you've been so well adjusted your whole life that people don't even fucking check on you anymore. And that hurts too. You've done so good at cleaning up everybody's mess. You've done so good at making sure everything's good. I'll put out all the fires. You're good. Everyone's good. That the fire and the chaos and the war that's happening within you, no one ever checks on. And that hurts because you have a lot of fucking emotions inside. You have a lot of pain inside. You have a lot of depth. You have a lot of fears and worries. You want someone to be checking on you. You want someone to pick up the phone and say, hey, come on. You said you were going to do this. What's up? You want someone to say, hey, I believe in you. Why are you over here just doing this all day? Where you at? Because that's who you are for everybody else. Where's the person who doesn't play about you? Where's the person who gives you the tough love? Where's the person who challenges you the way that you need to be fucking challenged? Because they care about you, because they love you, because they see your potential the same way that you see everybody else's. Who sees you? Because some of you don't have it around you. So who sees you when you don't have it around you? When you don't have your mom that believes in you, when you don't have a dad that believes in you, when you don't have best friends that believe in you. Do you believe in you? Do you clap for yourself when no one is clapping? Do you clap for yourself when no one's clapping? Do you have inner counsel with you and your inner child and says, hey, listen, people are busy right now. People are stressed out with their own lives. That doesn't mean that I'm not here for you. I'm rooting for you. Wake up. Set your fucking alarm clock. Let's go. We said that we were going to do this. I'm not letting you sleep in today. Get up. You said you were going to the gym at 5 a.m. Why are we not there? It's not about the abs. It's about the dedication and the word that you gave yourself. If dad let you down with his words and mom let you down with their words and everybody let you down with the words, are you going to continue letting yourself fucking down? Are you going to continue? It's so easy because people have not made a big deal about you. So you don't make a big deal about yourself. And I need that to change. You don't make a big deal about yourself. No, it needs to stop. You need to stop getting so comfortable when that alarm goes off and you said that you were going to do something the night before. You need to stop being so comfortable with saying, oh, whatever. Like, I'm not meeting nobody there. No one gives a fuck. You give a fuck. You give a fuck. Because if you didn't, you wouldn't be in turmoil. If you didn't care about getting in shape, if you didn't care about your health, if you didn't care about stepping in your purpose, it wouldn't be bothering you. Okay? So stop playing with yourself. Stop lying to yourself and get real. You know how you feel when you put your head down on that pillow at night. You know the stress and the anxiety and the frustration that you feel when you're like, what the fuck am I doing? Why am I wasting my time doing this? Why am I entertaining this still? Why am I not moving forward? What the fuck am I doing? Losing sleep over your bills. Losing sleep over the money. Losing sleep over this job that you can't stand. Losing sleep over this relationship that you're in that you know is sucking the life out of you. All you do is dream about what it's like to be happy and by yourself. If this is your situation, I just dream of days where I'm happy and I'm single and I'm doing my own thing, where I don't feel like I need somebody. Those of you that are trying to decenter and get out of this relationship void, these are the thoughts that you have. God, I just wish that I would just be so happy, twirling and swirling, doing my thing, feeling good in my routine, independent of anything. God, I just want to be happy. I want to not give a fuck. I want to wake up and wear my weird kooky clothes and not give a fuck who looks at me. I want to share my opinion online and not give a fuck who doesn't agree with me. Okay? Oh, you guys can't hear? Oh, hold on. Let me know if you can hear now. I don't know. That's really weird. Can you hear now? Yes or no? Okay, you can hear. I'm just on IG. I think IG said they can't hear. Okay, so no, it gets old. It gets tiring feeling scared to do every fucking thing. No sound. Okay, let me come back. Hold on. Ooh, didn't want to do that. Aw, hold on. So, yeah, I know you're tired of it because it's so limiting. Having this fear of being seen and needing everyone to like you is one of the biggest things that is holding you back. It is. It's one of the biggest things. Trust me. If I told you, hey, I promise that whatever you put out, whatever content you put out, whatever clothes you wear, whatever you say, everyone's going to love it. If I told you that, if I made a promise, if I could guarantee no one's going to judge you, no one's going to push you, no one's going to challenge you, I promise, you would be more inclined to say, oh, okay, let me do it. If it's a guarantee that I'm not going to have to feel any discomfort, if it's a guarantee that no one's going to, dismiss me, if it's a guarantee that no one's going to abandon me, okay. You see, you would do it. You would do it. Okay, it's fine. There's no threat. But that's not the truth. You know that's not the truth. You know that there's things that you feel, and you know that there's things in your family. There's a lot of you have been wanting to tell your story, but you know how it's going to implicate some of your family members, and you're not ready for that yet. A lot of you hold yourself back because you know that your story is connected to other people, and you're scared of how that's going to make people feel, and especially your family is someone who says, oh my God, that was in the past, you always bringing up shit. And that's because they want to perpetuate the same toxic bullshit, and you're not here to do that. You're not here to do that. You're not here to perpetuate the same stuff. So this is why everyone, okay, come on, get over it. Who cares? That's just your uncle. That's just your dad. Get over it. No, that's not your job. So you can't do it. And this is why you feel like this, because you know that people are going to be upset when you start speaking your truth. You know that some of your family members, your siblings probably are not going to deal with you. And that pain, that knowing is what scares you. But you got to choose. You got to choose. Are you going to stay small and just continue to perpetuate the same stuff? Or are you going to take a risk and say, hey, maybe they'll be mad at me right now, but they may come around later. But at the end of the day, I have to be honest with myself. And if my truth makes my family feel some type of way, or if my truth makes them feel something, then they need to feel that. They need to feel it. Okay, there's a lot of things that you want to talk about that your siblings or your family are discouraging you because they know that they're going to have to deal with it once it gets out, because the same things that have happened with you have probably happened with them, and they don't want you to start talking about their trauma too, because they've probably experienced some of the same things as you, and they don't want to open that can of worms. And they know that if you start talking about this and what happened and what really happened in the shower and why was this person looking through the door, it's going to make them remember shit that they don't want to remember, because we're all connected and attached, especially in your family dynamics. So just know that may be a big reason why your family discourages you from speaking out about certain things, because they are a part of it too. So now you have to decide, do you want to continue to protect? Do you want to continue, or do you want to break the cycle, even if that means losing a few people? Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you for that. Hello. Okay, so that was a long way to say suffering. No more suffering in silence. That was a long, drawn out way to talk about that. The second one is community. Okay, it's community. And this is why you may notice right now that a lot of friends and a lot of things are changing in your energy, because you are being taken away from environments that are no longer serving you. Even if you can't see it, you are protected. Your ancestors, archangels, spirit, God, it's been protecting you. And so if you're finding that naturally you're starting to gravitate away, don't let that be for your ego to ramp it up and say, oh my God, let me do all these other things. If it's naturally going and you are honest with yourself and you're like, man, I used to talk to this person every day, and I can tell that we're naturally just not talking to each other anymore. And if I'm getting honest, how does it make me feel? I actually feel okay with it. It's my ego that is telling me, because we've been friends for so long, or because, I think I need this person. Come on, go fight your bad friend if you don't do it. No, stop letting the ego tell you something and sit in here. How does it feel? Do you actually feel more relieved? Do you actually feel more grounded? Do you actually feel more like, oh, I actually feel so good that I don't have to feel obligated to keep making these plans when I really didn't want to do it. If I was getting honest with myself, I really didn't want to keep doing it. And so why was I not honoring myself? When, these are the questions. Why was I doing it? Okay, let's get deeper. Why? Maybe because we've been friends for so long and I felt like I'm a bad friend. I don't want to feel like I'm abandoning, there we go, back to the abandonment wounds. And I think that's one of the biggest revelations that I've had through sitting with my own trauma is that, man, my abandonment wound is deeply towards myself, but it's really big on other people. Like, it's really big. I feel like that toxic loyalty. And I don't know if you've seen the movie, What's Love Got to Do with It? It's about Ike and Tina Turner. And I watched the movie so many times. It's one of my mom's favorites, so I've always watched it. And one of the parts is in the beginning when she's still anime and she hasn't really turned into Tina Turner. Ike tells her this sob story that's like, my dad left me, my daddy left me, blah, blah, blah. And then, Tina Turner, her mom abandoned her when she was a little girl too. And so she has that trauma bond. So boom, the trauma bond. And then he's like, you gonna leave me? Even though he had just hit her, he just abused her, he did something. And he said, you gonna leave me? Please don't leave me, don't leave me. And she was like, I would never do that. I remember she was like, I would never leave you. That's the trauma bond. That's that like deep bond that you have where you're like, I know what it fucking feels like. So even if you abuse me, even if you do things, I know it's hard and I see myself in you. And so we have this toxic loyalty when you have abandonment wounds. Even when the person is maybe not even deserving of your love, not saying that they're not deserving of love, but your love, you still feel obligated to give it to them because you have deep abandonment wounds. So, this community is coming in so that you can have more support. You recognize that you need to be around people who are also in the same mindset and frame as you, right? You can have people, right? You don't need everyone that's doing the same thing. You don't have to have every single friend that's trying to be an entrepreneur, but I do think it's important that you start aligning yourself with people that are doing the same things that you're doing, especially if it's the path least traveled, because that shit is hard. When you see everybody, when you're over here trying to do your business, right? And you're catching hell, you're just like, damn, this is so hard. And then you see all 5 of your friends work a 9 to 5 and they're just like, oh, we're going to dinner. Oh, we're doing this. It's kind of like, fuck, maybe I should just go back to a 9 to 5. Like, I see my friends are all shopping. They're all able to still do this stuff. And I'm over here like, can't even go out to fucking dinner because I don't know when I'm getting paid. And so you see, but then when you have, like, I have a lot of friends that are entrepreneurs now. I have a lot of friends around me that are doing it. So I get on the phone. I'm like, oh my God, I can't fucking do this. Like, I hate this. Like, I'm not getting money this month. I don't know how I'm going to pay this. And they're like, babe, I know this is so fucking crazy. We got to keep going. We know that we don't want this normal lifestyle. And this is the time it takes. This is in between of breaking down all the capitalistic wounds and learning how to build systems and processes, because that's why all these corporate Americas have all the systems and processes built for us so that we don't ever have to think. They don't want to teach us how to think for ourselves and build things on ourselves. They want us to just depend on them. When you're dependent, then people can manipulate you and control you. When you're dependent on a system, they can abuse you and you'll still go back for more because you're dependent. It's the same thing when you think about a partner that is dependent on their spouse for money, right? They told, oh, we're in it as a team. I don't have no money. I'm just dependent on you. Then all of a sudden, shit gets real when that other partner says, you know what? I don't really like how you're acting right now. And I don't really like what you're doing. So the way that I'm going to control it is, I'm not going to give you as much money this week. And I'm not going to do this. And you can't leave because I have all the money. You see how all of a sudden it's just like, well, damn, now I'm putting up with shit and abuse and different things because I really am dependent. So when I'm really getting honest, I don't really love being here. I don't really genuinely want to be here. I feel like I have to be here. And that's so many of you in these fucking jobs. But we try to convince ourselves that I love it and then I'm good at it. Just because you're good at something doesn't mean that you're passionate about it. Stop confusing the two. Some of you are so highly intelligent and skilled and you can just pick up and adapt. So you can be virtually good at anything that you put your mind to. It doesn't mean that it's stimulating your brain in the way that you want it to. It doesn't mean that it's filling your cup up the way that you want to just because you're good at it and you're able to make a living doing it. Those two don't matter when it comes to passion. That's survival mode, babe. You're surviving. Even if you are making more than enough money, you're still surviving because what it's costing you to get that money is going to start outweighing the money. Because you're going to start seeing, why can't I make the money that I desire and do something that I love? Why does it have to be one or the other? Why do I have to be a struggling artist? I don't have to be Beyonce status to be an artist that is doing well and not eating out of the garbage can. You see what I'm saying? Why is the spectrum so extreme? I either have to be Beyonce or I'm eating out of the garbage can. No, that's not true. That's not true. I don't want to be Beyonce, and I also don't want to eat out of the garbage can, but I do want to make a decent living selling and performing and doing my art, period. So I'm going to figure that out. I'm going to figure out the sweet spot and what works for me. And it takes time and it's worth it. I could be spending the last 5 years still at corporate America. I quit in 2018. So I could have spent the last 7 years still thinking, oh, how much I fucking can't stand this. Trying to jump from different corporate to different corporate, think it's going to be different. Trying to fight for a fucking nickel raise every single time it's time. Even though I do get a raise and do get promoted, it doesn't feel like it because when I get to the next job band, I am required to do more hours, even though we are hired in at 40 hours. Once I get to these certain levels, it's an expectation that I'm going to be working 80 hours for the price of 40. It's like an expectation that people, and in corporate America, we are so conditioned to just take it. We are so conditioned to take the abuse. We are so conditioned to take the bullshit. We are, because we're dependent. Okay? All right, you got this new position, you got this new promotion. Yeah, we expect you to be online 24/7 now. Yeah, you want to make that 150K? You want to make that 200K? Oh, you think you're going to make the 200K and still work 40 hours? Well, yeah, I mean, my job title is different and I have more responsibilities, but why does that change the amount of hours? Oh yeah, because this job can't be done in 40 hours. This is why we pay you salary, because we know if we were to pay you hourly for the amount of hours that you actually would have to put in to get this job done right and efficiently, we'd be paying you well over 200,000. So we're going to cap you at that, but then expect more. So really, when you really add up all the hours and then you calculate that and divide that by how much you're getting paid, what is your hourly rate? Huh? What's your hourly rate? What's your hourly rate? Okay, I just want to make sure that we're not, the math is mathing and that we're not ignoring these hours that you put out. I don't give a fuck if the thing says salary. How many hours are you working? Really? I don't care if it says salary. That doesn't imaginary take away all the energy that you're putting in just because it says salary. That doesn't mean that this extra hour online is not doing something to you. It doesn't mean that answering emails at 3 a.m. just because your salary just means that everything is just blending together. That's not what that fucking means. So I want to know, how many hours are you actually putting in a month, and then divide that by what your salary is, and then I want to know what you're getting paid hourly. Is it above minimum wage when you really put in and calculate it? Do you feel like the exchange is even? Because you spent so much time working. Like, when do you spend the money? You spent so much time. You're always in the office, even when you're on vacation. That's who you want to be. Someone that's attached to their BlackBerry. You're at the beach. Well, we're going girls trip. Let's go to Cancun. And you're the one that's like, oh, hold on. Let me just hold on because I have to. Hold on because my manager. You can't even get a vacation without having to work. That is some people's reality, and that's something that we've completely normalized. Never can have separation. Some of us have completely normalized this because we think this is what it takes. These are the sacrifices that I have to make to be able to have the house that my kids live in, this big house, when really your kids would probably downsize to a smaller house in a heartbeat if it meant having more time with you. If you told your child, hey, we're going to have to move to a much smaller house, but this is going to allow me to have so much more time to spend with you and play and go and do things. I bet your kid would understand. So really get clear on what you're doing this for. Really get clear on who you're doing this for. Really get clear on why you're killing yourself like this. Like, really, for real. Get clear on who is this for. Is it for you? Is it really for your children? Is it for your family? Or is it for your status? Is it for you to be perceived in a certain way? Is it for your mom? Is it for your dad? Is it for your spouse's family so they, think that you're good enough? Who is it for? Who is it for? Does being a local artist that plays in dive bars around your neighborhood, does that not sound as good as a lawyer or a doctor? Does that not make you feel something? If instead of saying I'm a lawyer, I'm a doctor, or I work at this firm, or I work at this, and instead of saying what it is that truly makes you happy, does that not sound good enough? Does it not have enough status? I'm asking these questions because it's rooted in something. It's rooted in something. Hi Vera. Okay, so the epiphany is coming. The epiphany is coming, and you know it, and you have to give yourself the time and space and the energy to really sit with the epiphany. And then when you get the epiphany, are you brave enough to actually follow through with it? Are you brave enough to sit and follow through with the epiphany? Because you guys we've all gotten a lot of downloads. But what do we do with them? Ingrained in us, yes, for sure. You know how good it made me feel when I would tell people, oh yes, I got my degree in criminology, and yes, I work and I do anti-money laundering investigations for a Fortune 500 company. You know how good it made me feel? But then when I actually got into my car, I'm like, I fucking don't like this. I'm bored. It doesn't light me up. I don't feel like I'm getting paid what I really want. But when I'm out and I'm in social situations, it made me feel so good to let them know that I had my degree, because I got my degree because I felt less than two, even though I didn't really need it. And now I'm paying back student loans on something, but I don't regret it. I think education and your ability to learn, and I actually enjoyed what I was learning, even though I knew that I didn't need it, but it made me feel insecure to be out and talk to people, and they'd say, oh, what college did you go to? And for me to say that I didn't. I cared more about people's perception that I did not go to college than my own perception of going to college, and I allowed college to dictate my level of intelligence, or so I thought. People are not going to think I'm intelligent if I don't have a college degree, when really a lot of my intelligence has nothing to do with what I learned in school. And so it felt good for me to be out when I'm meeting people to say, oh yes, I got my bachelor's degree in criminology, and now I do anti-money laundering investigations at a Fortune 500 company. Yes, we go through and we monitor. It made me feel good to say that. Even though I couldn't stand what I did, I didn't really feel connected to it. I didn't really feel excited about it. It didn't light me up. I didn't feel like I was really in my purpose. I didn't feel like I was using my creativity. I feel stunted. But that perception, when you meet me, I felt like that was on point. That gave me brownie points. That perception, when you first meet me and you hear that, oh, what do you think? What do you think when you hear that? Look at me. I'm here. I'm in my late 20s with this great job. I just bought my house. Yes. But then when I go back to the car, I'm super insecure. I'm really not fulfilled. I don't feel happy in what I'm doing, and I actually am not making the money that I really want to. But as long as you have the perception of me that I got it all together, then that's what matters. That's what matters. The perception. Just like with your family. Let's take the Christmas card and send out the Christmas card every year, even though everyone in this family, everyone in this picture can't stand each other. We barely know each other. When people come over, mom is all backflipping out and acting all over the top, and dad's doing this. And then as soon as the people leave, it's back to the reality of our family. We're really not connected. We don't really spend time talking to each other and being present with each other when no one's here. It literally is, it's a projection. We care more about the perception of how the outside world looks at our family than inside. And this is why a lot of you guys grew up with families where you say, you don't keep our business in the streets. You don't put our business in the streets. Don't be up there telling people about what's going on. I literally heard that in growing up. And I remember having that same ideology in my relationships where I'm like, hey, don't be telling our business to your friends and all this stuff and all of our fights. It was like I was preparing them. We're going to fight and we're going to have a really toxic relationship, and I don't want people in my business because I don't want people to judge me based on what you tell them. That's why people don't want you to know the shit, because they don't want you to judge them based on their own behavior. They want to be able to control the narrative. They want to be able to control the perception of how you see them. And you do it too. We all do it. Why didn't you say that truth on that date when your date said something and you knew it literally contradicted everything within you, but you didn't say it because you cared about how they perceived you more than them knowing who the fuck you really are? because you're still wavering on certain parts of who you are. And when you're not standing strong in certain parts of who you are, you're easily manipulated by other people's thoughts. So if I was kind of on the fence, I don't know about this administration. I don't know. I would be a chameleon who's talking about it. No, I don't care where I am. I don't care what company I'm in. I don't care. I don't fuck with this administration. I don't care who's around. I don't care what you're at. I don't care what your job status is. I don't care where you live. I don't care what your race, ethnicity, heritage. I don't care none of it. I don't fuck with this administration no matter where I'm at. You see, it's really easy. It's really easy for me. You see what I'm saying? It's really easy for me to just stand in that. No matter what you say, what they say, I have my own opinions and my own feelings and my own beliefs about it that you can't waver. There's nothing that you're going to be able to tell me to justify what we've been doing to children. Nothing. Zero. Zero. You see? That's something that I don't have to guess around. That's something that I don't have to do anything, and I'm not scared, and I'm not whatever. Perceive me however you want. You see? It doesn't have to be so complicated. It don't have to be so complicated. It don't have to be so complicated. Hi, dark skin beauty. Okay, wow. The next two cards that came out are also in alignment. Risk and business. Look, Venus. Money does grow on trees. It quite literally does. You know, everything's digital now, which brings me to my next point. Everything's digital now. Everything's just inputting some numbers, okay? The way that we are worshiping money, we don't have to. Money finds you. Money comes to you easily, fast. You can create money. You are a creator. You just need to start believing in yourself. You have to take the risk. These two go hand in hand. Taking the risk to start your business, you know it. You know it. You got to take the risk. And it's going to get to the point where taking the risk doesn't even feel like a risk anymore. It feels more risky to sit here and do the same thing that you've always done and expecting different results. You can see that the years are going by fast as fuck. We're already in March already. We just had New Year's. We're already in March. Time is not fucking around, okay? It's an illusion, but it's the only thing that's constant, okay? So I'm not trying to say that we're running out or whatever, but there are some downloads and some things that you're not going to get until you actually step in. God is God. The universe is not going to give you more than you can handle. So I'm not going to give you the steps 5 through 6 when you haven't even done steps 1 through 5 or 6 through 10, right? You're sitting here, wait, I need to see steps 6 through 10 because I'm someone who needs to see the full picture because I got the fear of the unknown. And so I know that I've been guided to do steps 1 through 5, but I can't do steps 1 through 5 until I see steps 6 through 10. That's how you act. No, you don't. You're overwhelmed with all of it in the first place. It's daunting. 1 through 5 is where you're at right now. Once you start mastering getting 1 through 5 and you're feeling good, then 6 through 10 will be revealed to you. You will not be given more than you can handle. You're telling me, you're saying that you're overwhelmed already right now. You're already telling me that you're overwhelmed with the smallest little thing. All this stuff you can't even answer text messages back. Every time the phone rings, you feel a visceral feeling in your body. When someone texts you, hey, and then when someone double texts you and you still haven't texted them back, you feel so, oh my God, put a heart in the chat if that's the motherfucking word. When you feel overwhelmed to the point where you can't even respond to messages, and then last week you saw a message come up from a certain person, and then you just haven't gotten to it. You're like, oh my God, I'm so overwhelmed. And then you see their name pop up again. Oh, I already know the message is cussing me out. I don't want to see it even more. I don't want to look at it even more now. I don't want to look at it even more. They already double texted me and I didn't get back to the first text. I'm an asshole. I'm the worst person on the planet. I can't. They think that I don't want I have put a heart in the chat if you've been there. Damn, when they double text you, it's just such a fuck. And it's such a reminder, man, I really cannot keep up. Like, I can't even keep up with basic conversation right now because your energy is so intertwined with the fact that you got to level up. You're so overwhelmed that you have to level up and that you got to make these changes that you're just doing nothing. You're in a complete freeze mode because you are so burnt out of putting everyone first that you're literally glitching on how to reclaim your energy back without feeling bad and how to put it into yourself. You are so used to giving your energy out to everyone else that you don't even know what it fucking feels like to just focus on yourself. It feels weird. It feels like I don't even know what to do. That's why sometimes you involve yourself in other people's business and you involve yourself in other people's drama, because it's such a distraction from the shit that you got to do within yourself. You know it. You know it. You sometimes your reactions to your friends' drama is so bigger. It's like why are you getting like this? Like sometimes your reactions to the things that your friends are going through are unproportional because you are taking on so much of their shit as a distraction from your own. You can tell some of the anger, some of the pain, some of the things that you exhibit. And it's not that you don't love your friends. You can feel deeply for your friends, of course. But, the way that you get upset that maybe they're not doing what they're in alignment to do, what you think they're in alignment to do, is such a reflection on how you're not. Who are you to tell anybody that they are ready to do it right now? The only person that will know that about yourself is you. You're not here to tell everybody when they're ready to start their public speaking career. You're not here to tell everybody when they're ready to start DJing, but you are recognizing these things within yourself. So why don't you give all that energy that you keep giving to somebody who's not wanting to be where you want them to be, and go where you're ready to go. Go where you're ready to go. Go where you're ready to go. You don't want to stay in this reality anymore. You don't resonate with this reality anymore, and you know it. The reality where you're always paycheck to paycheck. The reality where you have to pick between gas and groceries. The reality where you're doing something that you're not even interested in because this is what everybody's doing. We need to pay the bills. The reality where you can't even fathom to believe in yourself, but you can build up everybody else's business. That's getting old and tired. What about you? Okay? So you got to take the risk. Whatever the risk is, I'm telling you, whatever the risk is that you're so scared of, it's not going to be scarier than doing nothing at all. Because when your life flashes before your eyes and it's time for you to leave this planet, trust the thoughts that will be there. Damn, I spent my whole life being scared. I spent my whole life wondering if I could ever do this thing, and I never, ever showed up for myself. I spent my whole life being the best supporting actor in everyone else's movie, and I never became the main character in my own. No, I spent my whole life being the best supporting actor to everyone else, and I never became the main character in my own. I never centered my dreams. I never centered my desires. I never took myself seriously the way that I took other people seriously. I never thought that I was worth it. That's what you want to say? Read the 7 Regrets of the Dying, you guys. Read that book, The 7 Regrets of the Dying. These are people who had nothing to lose. These are people who were on their way out. And I think number two was not living the life that they really, really wanted. Not being able to break through and show up for themselves the way that they wanted to. That was number 2. Never living the life that they truly desired. Always settling. Hi, Barb. It's good to see you. Yeah. Listen to our elders. Listen to the people who have experienced it. Listen to the people who have been in these spaces that we will be in inevitably. Seriously. This is the whole point of people sharing the wisdom who have lived it and been there. If not now, when? You know that you could be prioritizing your time more wisely. You know that you could be focusing more. You know that you could be getting started instead of making excuses. You know. Yes, you're going to be tired sometimes. Yes, you're going to be spread thin sometimes. Yes, but you already feel those things now. Don't you? Wouldn't you rather feel that doing something that you actually love? You already feel spread thin. You already feel burnt out. You already feel exhausted. You already feel like your energy is being pulled in all these directions. So yeah, you're going to feel that when you're building your own business. But isn't it going to hit different because you're doing something that you actually want to do? So it feels like, God, this grind is hard, but it's worth it because I'm grinding for myself instead of grinding for someone else who doesn't value me the way that I deserve to be valued. I am just a cog in someone else's hamster wheel, and they need me to work this many hours and work this much in order for them to get the goals that they have. Don't you see that? They want to be able to be on islands and cruising around on yachts and having private flights. And so therefore you need to show up and do above and beyond your 40 hours for this amount of money so that they can work it out. If they pay you 100K, they're not going to be able to have as many visits on the island. So they're going to pay you 40 and they're going to expect you to do the work of 100K. And you do. Because you think that if you continue doing the work of 100K, eventually you'll get there. Otherwise, why else would you be doing it? Why else would you be doing it? You're not enjoying it, you're not having fun, you're not being compensated the way that you want to. What is the incentive aside from the fact that you feel like you have to? I'm waiting. And don't say it's stability, because people get laid off right before Christmas without any notice at all. So don't say that you're doing this job because it's stable. Next. What's the next excuse? I just don't see how I can make money doing it. Okay, you're never going to see it just being in your head. You actually have to make the art and then put it on your Etsy and then put a sale price on it. It's not enough just to say, I want to sell my art. Okay, that's great. So we're going to make it, and then we're going to set up the Etsy store, and then we're going to load up our inventory every week. And even though we work at our 9 to 5, we're going to dedicate once a week to working on our pieces to collect our inventory. And then by the holiday season, we're going to have 50 pieces. Yep, that's a plan. And no, it's not instant gratification overnight. And no, the first piece that you put up, people are not going to be lining up to buy it. Okay, I'm going to burst your bubble. The first piece of art you put up, it may not be everybody knocking down, let me buy it, but the more consistent you are, the more you develop your craft, the more that you believe in yourself, people will start to believe in you. You felt it. You have felt it. There's been times where you haven't liked a song or you haven't liked something and you're like, I don't like it, I don't like it. But then the more people around you that were singing it and doing it, all of a sudden it started to grow on you, right? Put a heart in the chat if that's ever happened to you, where initially you didn't really like this song, you couldn't stand it. But then the more that you listen to it, the more that you saw other people vibing to it, you're like, you know what? The song is growing on me. You see? Imagine if that artist just crumbled at your immediate reaction. Imagine if the person who made the song said, okay, what do they think? And you said, I don't really feel it. Oh my God. It doesn't, what? Okay. I'm so glad that you didn't stop making music just because I didn't like the song. But you see, the more and more people vibe with it, the more people really believe in it and say, damn, this is a good song. It has a bit, oh wait, I kind of like it too. I kind of see. It's the belief. It's the fact that the person is continuing to put out music. It's the fact that they're continuing to develop. Maybe it wasn't their best song. Maybe you are a tough critic, but they kept going. And then all of a sudden you're like, damn, now I didn't like that song, but this song is dope. You only think that because they didn't give up. You only think that because they didn't care about the fact that you didn't like the first song. So they gave themselves time to continue developing. And they also know that their art is not going to resonate with every single person, but maybe this song will resonate with you. So just because this piece of art didn't resonate with you doesn't mean I'm going to stop painting. Maybe this one will resonate with you. So this is my first one. You didn't really like it. Okay, cool. Well, I'm making art because I like it. And so maybe you'll resonate with some of my pieces down the line. Or maybe you won't. Either way, I enjoy making art and I know that other people will like it too. So then down the line, I make this piece and then you say, damn, those first pieces that they put out, I didn't really resonate with it. But man, this piece is really representing what I'm going through right now. You see how art is also subjective. It's also timing. It's also depth. It's also experiences. Art is not just black and white. Oh, I like it and I don't. Some people just don't understand what they're actually seeing because they haven't lived what the artist is living. So some art just goes over people's head, and that's okay. That's okay. So just saying all this to say that if you are getting into this because you want everyone to be liked, then yeah, go ahead and just continue doing these dead-end jobs, these odd-end things, because you're not in it for the right reasons. If you're doing your art because you just want people to like you and want to do, then it's not the right reasons. And it's also a sure way to set yourself up to be disappointed. So ask yourself why you want to do this. What is your why? Because in 2021, I wrote out my mission statement on why I wanted to do a coach, and I am going to print it out and just hang it up. It's been true ever since. If I find it, I'll read it to you guys the next time I go live. But I wrote out my why. And I go back to that every single time that I want to give up and everything. And it has nothing to do with likes, and it has nothing to do with validation. My why is because I know what it feels like to be liberated within yourself. And I also know what it feels like to be suppressed and stagnant. And my why is to liberate as many people on this planet that I can. And I will do that by liberating myself. That has been my why since the beginning, and I've stayed true to it. My mission is to help liberate as many people on this planet from their own internal suffering. And I will do that by being open and public about my own liberation. I said that in 2021. I have it written down. I made the post, and I will never forget that day. And I said, where is this coming from? What do you mean? I've never had a why. Yeah, sure. Say what again? My liberation? My why, I will liberate as many people. I will help to liberate as many people on this planet as I can. And I will do so by being public about my own liberation. I'm going to liberate myself out loud so that you can see the authenticity in the way that I am handling myself. You know? And I've stayed true to it. There's so many times where I've wanted to run away and not come on here because you may see a part of me that's not beautiful. There's been times where I've gotten off the live and I'm like, I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said that. And I'm like, no, this is me. They're getting me. And I will be the first to come on here and say, dang, yesterday that thing I said, I don't really like that. I sat with it and I don't like it. And I feel a little ashamed that I let you guys see that part of me, but also this is who I am. I don't want you to just see me in my light. I want you to see me in my darkness. And I know that, you're letting me go through my own emotions and journey too. Many of you, when I was going through all the stuff with my dad back in 2022, 2023, before he passed away in 2024, a lot of you had already dealt with losing a parent. A lot of you had already dealt with this type of loss before. And I know that when I was up there getting all mad with my dad and I hate him, fuck him, dude, I know that you were like, okay, she's got to get to this point of forgiveness. We've all been here with our parents, and eventually she'll wake up and see that this anger is not sustainable. But you let me be in that anger, and you let me get to be in that space. You let me be present in it. And then I got to it. You see, you let me get to it on my own. And I was able to show, man, from one day to the next, I was like cussing my dad out. And then all of a sudden I had this change of heart, and I was like, whoa, I don't want to be like this anymore. I don't want to hate him. I don't hate him. I don't hate him. I feel so angry and I feel so emotional because I don't hate him. I love him so much that I get so upset that he is not what I wish that he could be, but I do love who he is. And if you told me, oh, we can give you a different dad right now, I wouldn't. I would still choose my same wild, narcissistic father. I would. Because he's also given me a lot of beautiful qualities too. And I also see him independent of just being this dad and this protector. I see him as being a very, very, really hurt man. I see that now too. So, what I'm saying is that I have allowed you guys to see all these different parts, even the parts that have brought me a lot of shame. And even when you didn't know that it brought me a lot of shame, there's times where I got off here and I would be like, ugh, my skin would be crawling because I'm like, I can't believe I said that. I can't believe I let them know that about me. Well, now they're judging me. They're judging me as we speak. They no longer think that I'm the bright light anymore because I told them about how I cheated on someone when I was 19, because I want to be transparent. I don't want to hide anything about my shadows, because I want people to relate and say, man, I cheated when I was younger and I'm not an inherently bad person, and I know why I did it, and I'm still deserving of love and for someone to trust me in the future. That is true for so many people. You're not just tainted and now you're just worth nothing because you did something that society deems, the worst. And it is, of course, betraying and hurting people. Of course, it plays on our deepest insecurities of not feeling like it's enough. That's why society hates it so much is because it plays on the insecurities of not being enough, betrayal, loyalty, all these things that we have not felt in childhood, and now I've taken vows with someone and they're also not showing me it, or we made a commitment and now you're also not showing it to me. You know, so now these people who I didn't have a choice with, who I thought should be committed to me, they couldn't even be committed to me. Now you've taken vows, or you've verbally said I commit to you, and you're not doing it. So now it just leaves me to feel like, you know, so I understand the thought process. I understand all of it. I understand that there's a reason why people do what they do. You cheated on someone, I don't immediately, oh, you're a fucked up person, you're always going to be. No, there's clearly something that you need to work on. So my first questions, if a client comes to me and they're like, yeah, I cheated. Okay, what was going on? What did you feel like you couldn't articulate or communicate in the relationship, and why? Those are my questions. It's not like, yeah, you're inherently fucked up. No, what was your intention? Let's be honest. Did you feel like you couldn't be honest with the person? You thought that just sneaking around would not be as bad as leaving and being direct? Did you not want to have a broken home because of your kids? Because you grew up from a divorce, and even though you know that you probably need to be in a divorce, you don't want to put your kids through the same thing that you went through, so you're trying to just fake it out and force it for them, but really your heart is desiring this passion and love, and your partner doesn't convey that to you anymore. And so the temptation of what your soul is desiring is taking over, and this is because we don't feel comfortable enough to be honest and say, hey, I need this. This is something I need this. And the fact that I'm not getting this is making me think about things that are not in my character. And I don't want to do something that is out of my character, but I am wanting to acknowledge that I'm desiring this. So I want to tell you about it. People are too scared to have that conversation. People are way too scared to have that conversation. But your body and your desires and the things that you yearn for do not go away, and they become very overpowering when you deny. They do. Or when you're trying to people please, because there's sometimes that people have done things and cheated because they felt bad. We have. There's multiple reasons other than I'm just an inherent asshole who loves ruining people's lives. No, people who grew up seeing their parents cheat, people who grew up seeing their parents be womanizers and always pick me's with all these men, that does something to you. And even though you couldn't stand that your mother was a pick-me growing up, you turned into one. Because what other example did you have? Or you became hyper independent because you were so disgusted and disappointed by how your mom always chose men over you that now you're hyper independent and you don't need nobody. But that's still causing you to suffer because you do want someone to coexist with. But you're so scared of choosing a man over your kids or falling into the same damsel in distress as your mother, who you don't have a lot of respect for because of this, that you went to the other side of the spectrum to try to overcorrect this. So now you don't fuck with nobody, but deep down you want someone. Or you turned out just like your mother. The most important thing for you is a man. It's not inherently who you are, is what I'm trying to tell you. You're not a pick-me. That's why I get hurt when I hear people make these judgmental statements about people when they don't know where the fuck they came from or what happened, and they don't know where they came from, or either you're the same. It just feels better for you to pick on someone else who's open about it online than for you to look in the mirror and say how many times you've centered relationships over how many times you get lost in shit. You're just not brave enough to speak about it online because you don't want people to know your shortcomings. You don't want people to know that you really do. You may be independent, but once you get into a relationship, you lose everything. That's why you stay single for so long, because you know that you have the ability to lose yourself in relationships. So stop pointing at people who are still just going gung-ho for love, and they're not scared of it, and they're letting themselves fail out loud and do all the things, and they're experiencing it, and you're making a choice to avoid it because you know that you have not done the healing work to actually be a healthy partner. Let's talk about that. But you have so much to say for people who do take the risk and put themselves in the position to be in love. Love is a risk, and you avoid it because you're scared of the rejection. But then you have the audacity to talk about how everybody's trying to get picked when you want to be picked too. Okay? less judgment, and more introspection. Have I embodied this energy that I'm about to tear someone down for? Do I have the capability? Don't say, never say never. Never say never. Okay? You just haven't had that one relationship yet that rocks your fucking world upside down yet. You haven't felt that attachment that's so deep that is making you lose yourself and do crazy ass shit that you never thought you would do. You think I ever thought I would be begging on my knees to a guy that I had no business being with, that was literally telling me in every single way but directly to get the fuck out? He was telling me in every single way but directly that he did not want to be with me anymore, and I couldn't see it. Now I look back and I feel so stupid. You know, I look back and I'm like, bro, it was so obvious that he was trying to get rid of me, but he didn't have the guts to say, hey, I don't want to be with you anymore. You're awesome. You have a lot of great qualities. I think that you're great, but I'm just not ready for what you're ready for, and I'm sorry that I moved in and did all this shit and went and looked at rings. I was not being serious about any of this. I was just telling you what I thought you wanted to hear because you were so intense and I didn't know what the fuck I was getting into with you. That's what he should have said. I like the idea of you more than I like you. Because I was jumping through hoops. But that's not his fault. That's also just me not seeing it. I didn't want to fucking see it. So I had to sit with that too. It's not just him, it was me too. Because the writing was on the wall and I was literally like this. It would be like the writing on the wall and I'm just like, hey, oh, ah, oh. The writing, oh, the truth, oh, what? The truth is just coming out. That's how I'm acting. The truth is just coming at me. I'm like this. Okay? The truth would be coming on the radio. When I tell you I was getting signs all damn day. When I tell you I couldn't even hear songs. It would be so bad that the clear audience, the downloads were coming so bad. The clear audience, I would get into the car. And I would be after having a big fight with him. And then it would just get in. I need to leave. The song would be literally exactly what the fuck. I was just like, and so when those songs would come on, what would I do? Whenever I would get the downloads in my head, this is what I would do. Oh, you need to leave? What? I need to leave? He's not the one? I'm hurting myself by staying in a relationship that someone doesn't respect me? What? He doesn't love me? Huh? He's playing me? I don't know. Yo, you be filtering shit. You do. You'll meet someone, hey, I'm not really ready for a relationship. I just got out of something. Oh, they just need to get to know me. And if I put out all the stops, they'll change their mind. And it's going to be I seen this in a movie once. I seen it in a movie where someone met and they didn't really want it. And then the girl tried so hard and then she did all these things. And then he said, man, I didn't think that I really wanted anything. I just got a relationship, but you're the exception. I really just wanted to build my life and just, but you're the exception. You're everything. You're the missing puzzle piece in my life. Yeah, you see the movies all the fucking time. You do it. You romanticize The Notebook, not recognizing that Noah threatened to kill himself within the first 2 minutes of meeting her if she didn't go on a date. She was already on a date with somebody else, and he was so unstable and that he hung from a Ferris wheel with one hand and said, if you don't go on a date with me, I'm going to drop. I'm going to kill myself. So, is that romantic? You think that's romantic? Oh. This one, I didn't, because I know it's just everybody's favorite romance. So I was just trying to understand what was romantic about that. Hey, Grandma.
Grandma, tell us how you and Grandpa met. We love it. Well, I was on a date with somebody else, and then your grandpa decided that he wanted me. He goes, patriarchy, men get what they want. And because I didn't want to be with him, because I was already on another date, and that would be kind of rude, he decided that he was going to kill himself in front of us unless I went. And so that's what happened. And I ended up getting with somebody else because he didn't have enough money. And then after I just ran through all the options and finally emancipated myself from my family once they died, I came back. And he was still just building the porch that he told me he was going to build because his life was worthless without me. Yeah, he had no ambition or any life goals other than building me that porch. That was it. Outside of me, Noah was nothing. Outside of me, Noah doesn't even exist. So that's how we met. Anyway, what's for dinner? And this is what we wanted. This is what we're sitting up here. Okay. All right. I'm sure there's been plenty of people on the streets out. It has been saying some crazy ass shit to you and you don't even want none of it. Okay. All right. So next time someone asks you for the number and all the things and you say no, maybe, they should threaten their lives and you'll say yes. Okay. All right. Anyway, y'all, that's my time. I have to work at my other job today a little bit later, but I have a client, I have a few things, got some stuff to do. So I've been trying to still find balance, but your girl has been tired. Damn, adding these extra hours is no joke, but I love it. I'm ready to do it. Anytime they got some overtime, let me go. I'm trying to get out of this shit. So I'll do it. Let's go. Okay. I've been feeling so good. It's just been a different lock-in. I'm locked in. Okay. I'm ready to get this shit paid off and just get back to a space and just flow. So hopefully I will see you guys on Sunday. Again, the workshop on how to breaking the cycle is on Sunday. I work at a dispensary. I got a part-time job at a dispensary because I said if I have to go back into corporate, I need to do something that I believe in. I need to sell something that I actually like, and I need to be with people, and it needs to have the hours. I was very strategic in this, and then I was like, you know what? Dispensary, I think is perfect. It's holistic. It's a different vibe. The hours, I like what I sell. I can talk about it for days. It's great for me, and I've been thriving in it. I love it. I love my team. I love what I do. I love the process. I love all of it. So this has been a really great thing, and it hasn't even been just about the money. That's just been an added bonus to just help me stay afloat. It's been about getting out of my house, having more interaction with people, and putting myself into a position to be more seen because, I want to do the public speaking. I want people to hire me, and I need to be in positions where I'm meeting people. Who knows if I am meeting someone, I'm like, oh yeah, I love public speaking and I do this and I talk about this. They could say, oh, wow, we actually would need this. I actually am running this and this and that. You never know. I need to be seen. I need someone to help me get to this public speaking. I don't know what to do. I need to start applying. I don't know. I don't know what to do when it comes to public speaking and how to get started in it. And so I need to start taking it seriously, and because that's what I need to do. But it's also something that really scares me, which is why I've always had all these excuses and like, oh, I'll do it next week. I'll look into it next week, because public speaking, like really public in person, that has always been one of my biggest fears. I know. It's been one of my biggest fears, speaking in real life where I can see people's reactions because I am so hyper vigilant and because I still want to be perceived in certain ways. Sometimes I can get really, really nervous to the point where it's like debilitating on stage and embarrassing, where I can just sweat like crazy. You guys seen me sweat on here when I get really heightened. You've seen the big ass sweat rings on here. Look bitch, I'm not anything, I'm just heightened. So the sweat, but it gets worse when I'm nervous. Stuttering for sure. And then as soon as, like, if I see someone's face and they're like, they could be like looking at a text message, right? Someone could be in the audience, they could look down and see a text message, right? But because I caught them and they were like, I'm like, oh my God. Then I start getting in my head, they don't like what I'm going to say. They're not in it. They're not engaged. They're not buying in. But this is all pre-awakening. I have not done a real public speech since I became this person. So I think that I am Toastmasters. Yes, I keep The Toastmasters thing, yes. Local chapter. I have to find one that's close to me because I want to go to it. I did join one that my friend wanted me to join, but it was like an hour away, and so it kind of defeated the purpose because I was doing everything online, and obviously I'm comfortable speaking online. It's in front of real people that I have the extreme anxiety. So I need to find one that's open and active that I can drive to and be in person. I got to do it in person. So like, because I knew when they were like, oh, you can just join online. I'm like, I know this is cheating. This is cheating for me because I'm not scared to do things online. I'm not scared. So I got to do it in person. But also I need to stop referring to this old version of me that doesn't even exist anymore. It's just the last reference that I had. Kind of example one, and then I'm going to go. If your last reference of love was traumatic, when you get into new love, your brain is always going to go back to the past to reference and predict, right? The brain doesn't want to be tricked. The brain doesn't want to be deceived. So the brain is automatically going to refer back to past events, which is going to impact the way that you show up if you don't take control of your mind. So I think that my brain is doing the same thing because the last time that I did public speaking, I was not comfortable with who I was. I was lying to myself. I wasn't comfortable being even a black woman. So I'm not even comfortable in my own skin. And then I am expecting myself to go up here and feel confident. And I'm over here like this. But now that I am, I just need to give myself a chance to get in front of this audience, especially talking about something that I actually love. And I need to give myself a chance to reprogram myself because my brain is going to that last time. Because I have not created new memories and new neural pathways. Does that make sense? If you have not created a new neural pathway, your brain is automatically going to default to the last most comparable situation to try to predict the outcome. Okay, at the moth. Okay, Hyatt, can you please DM that to me? I've never even heard of that. Like, I need to do this. This is what I'm tired of. This is what I need help. Like, I need help, not procrastinating, because it's so easy for me to continue doing this because I'm comfortable doing this and to not challenge myself and get out there in front of people. And I know it's holding me back financially. I know it's holding me back because I know I want to be more and I want to talk in front of audiences of 10,000 people. I do more. I know that I have this energy, and the reason why people are like, God, you're so much is because I'm supposed to be conveying this message to hundreds of thousands. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm so big, because imagine speaking to a whole stadium of people. You got to have some fucking energy to captivate a crowd that big. And I know I can do it. Look at me. I know I can. Look at what am I talking? I know I can fucking do it. I know I have this ability to draw people in and to keep people's attention. I just have to believe in myself that I can really do it on this large scale. And I have to just be okay with the fact that the first few times I may completely dissociate. And I'm getting more comfortable with that. The more I get comfortable with the fact that I may go up there and say, oh my God, and I want to be able to say, I am really nervous. I'm really nervous. I want to be able to say that. And I always make a joke because I'm so used to talking to you guys. I'm like, I'm going to go on that stage and I'm going to have my phone and I want all of my TikTok people just to be on live. And I'm literally going to do the whole speech talking to the TikTok live and sitting on the floor. I'm like, what do you think they would say if I just brought my whole setup on the stage and just you guys can be here. I'm just talking to my TikTok people. Can I do that? I literally have thought about that. But I'm going to get through this. The Moth is a free-form storytelling, some funny. So, okay, The Moth, I'm going to check this. Thank you so much. Thank you. I need to do this. This is holding me back, and it's something that brings me a lot of sadness that I'm like, come on. This is what I think about. This is what I keep dreaming about. And I'm like, you can do this. I'm ready to do it. All right. Okay, I'm going to go check this out, and I can do this. I just want to be, I know I can be long-winded sometimes. I know I can get in tangents and my ADHD. And I think that scares me too, is that I want to deliver a powerful, impactful, engaging, all the things. I care that people leave. And I think sometimes I can care too much to the point where it's like, okay, Chris, not everyone's going to leave inspired. Not everyone's going to leave, but that's my intention. That is my intention. And I care a lot about that. So, We'll figure it out. We're going to do it. Thank you so much for the recommendations. Love you too. And I will be on tomorrow. I'm off on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So Tuesdays and Thursdays are definitely the days that I'm going to go live. And I think my new schedule is going to be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday. Okay? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday. That seems like that's my schedule. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday. Okay? All right. Love you. Yeah, Sundays are really fun. All right, y'all. And that's Toastmasters International Club. Okay, I'm going to check it out. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Moth Toastmasters. Okay, I got this. All right, y'all. I love you so much. I will see you tomorrow. See you on Sunday. Don't forget to get your ticket for the workshop on Sunday. It's virtual. We're going in. Let's break these shadows down and get more comfortable with it. I'm telling you, you're going to be more empowered the more that you're not scared about your imperfections. We all have them. So why are we all scared to show them when we all have them? Normalize the imperfections. Normalize your mistakes. Normalize taking accountability. Normalize all of it so it doesn't hold you back. Once you normalize it, it doesn't have power over you anymore. I promise. You'll be able to have more open, kind communication and conversations with people when it can accept the fact that you have the ability to hurt people, even if it's not your intention, and that it's okay to hear people out and it's okay to sit with things and it doesn't define who you are because you made a mistake. Okay? It doesn't define who you are because you made a mistake. How you deal with the mistake defines who you are. How you deal with someone coming to you defines who you are. If you go to my website, the link is in my website, and you go under events and scroll to shadow work. It should have the date of 3/8 on there. You'll see it. Okay, all you need is your journal, your pen, and just your heart and your openness. Okay? That's it. It's a safe space, and that's all I want you to come is with your heart. And come with your honesty. That's it. Okay? And then we'll do the rest as a community. Okay. All right, I love you guys. Hi, Joker. It's good to see y'all. All right, I'll see you guys on Sunday. Bye. Well, I'll see you tomorrow, but I'm going to see you on Sunday too. Okay, bye. Bye, Dan.